Welcome to the Karyn Reece Show. I'm psychic medium Karyn Reece with my co-host, the lovely Alexa Zappia.
Hi, how are you?
Good. So we have a lot of fun things coming up today as usual.
We do. I love it. Readings as always, which I love. So people often ask this question about reoccurring signs. So either pennies from heaven or numbers on a clock or something. Are those real? And then if so, how do you know if it's your loved ones or what do those reoccurring signs mean?
Love that. Well, people from the other side do make efforts to try to let us know that they're there for us. And typically speaking, I tell people, if you sense something, say a penny or say a butterfly or something random, typically they'll give you signs that you least expect. You might find a penny in your bed, which doesn't make sense at all, but those are some odd signs. The minute you think of, or whoever you think of right away, is typically the person who's trying to communicate with you. Because what's happening are two things. You're getting the other side telepathically letting you know that they're there. Plus, they're giving you a physical object to look at. So always trust your gut. Go with your first, impression of what you think and where you think you're getting it from, and usually that's who you're picking up.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, and they always try to give us little nudges. You're doing things right, or if you're having moments of stress, or just a happy, hello, hello.
What's the most common sign, or is there not?
I'll tell you, I see a lot of electrical things. On the other side, there's a thing called white noise now. People are more familiar with it, and with cameras, and as technologies get better, you're seeing, spirits on the other side, people on the other side. I even hate to use the word spirit, sounds sort of non-thinking beings, but blinking lights, telephones that freeze up. You might put your phone on and suddenly a picture of someone who passed over pops up that you least expect to see. So when you get those types of things, anything electrical, TVs that might stop, and again, if you think of somebody, fans that might, go on unexpectedly. I mean, you see some of the crazy stuff in our office with the electrical. And it kind of comes, it stands to reason. And when you're on the other side, you're more of an electrical magnetic type of physical being, so to speak, unlike our physical being here. So you can actually manipulate electrical energies
That
easier.
makes sense. That makes sense. That's awesome. Well, thank you for your insight yet again.
Yes. What a cheap way of paying your electric bill.
Exactly. It's spirit can turn it on and
off.
off, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll be back for more. Welcome back to the Karyn Reece Show. We are so excited to have our next guest with us, Matt Wismer. He's actually my trainer. He is phenomenal. And many of you have wrote in about guests that you would like to see or topics that you want us to discuss. And one that became pretty prevalent is health and fitness and lifestyle, especially coming up into the new year. So I thought, what better than to have Matt with us? So Matt, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm tremendous. How are you?
I'm great. How is it in sunny Miami as we're in snowy Buffalo?
I mean, great. You see my tan?
Yes.
Well, let me start, Matt, because you're so known throughout the world with what you do. So when was the start, or what was the moment that you finally decided that you wanted to get into this field and help others achieve the success they're aiming to achieve?
Well, I started in college. I was always into fitness, and it was an easy fit for me considering I played baseball in college. And I always really enjoyed, helping others, and everyone would always ask me, hey, what are you doing to look like that? Or what are you doing to boost your performance for baseball? And then it was just a seamless fit to starting to help others. And I needed a job. At first I needed a job, but it was great because I was passionate about it, which I think to really help others, you have to be passionate. But whatever you're doing, I think in life, you should be passionate about it. And then it's never like you're really working. So I started with that, and then it evolved into working for performance, a lot of professional athletes, then moving to Miami, where it became a lot more like CEO type clientele. It gave me the opportunity to start working for myself, which was amazing. Now I have some freedom.
That's awesome. So you spend basically every day helping others reach their personal best and everything like that. But what do you do for nutrition and for your own health and your workout regimen? How do you balance that? What is that? What does that look like?
So I definitely say the strength training is the base. I usually do weights 5 to 6 days a week. I divide it up into body parts. Usually divide my body into 4 different parts. So I'll do chest and back. I'll do legs on a day, shoulders on a day, and then arms on a day. And then I usually do cardio 2 to 3 times a week. Right now been doing a lot of paddling. Part of that was because I just did a charity event where I raised 100,000 for cystic fibrosis, and I paddled from Bimini to Palm Beach, 80 miles on a paddleboard, which is pretty epic.
God.
But it was, and the great thing is, with being in Miami, you can train, you can do you have good weather most of the year. So I go outside, and it's a nice way to almost like reset my mind too. And yet, I think that's another thing. You have to find something that's enjoyable, because I can't stand doing distance running. So I couldn't imagine, I would never do it. So I think that's almost like a suggestion for others. Just find something you like, and you'll be more likely to stick to it. Nutritionally, 3 to 4 meals a day, protein every meal. Trying to think with that, and if I ever have like a gluttonous meal the night before, maybe I'll fast in the morning. But usually it's 3 to 4 meals in a day. I usually probably have a meal. My first meal is probably 4 hours after I get up, and then every couple hours I'm having something, something, usually a green source, protein source, carbohydrates around workout times, fats around night. And then honestly, it really depends on what I'm doing. I live quite a lifestyle, so it really depends on the day.
Love it. So what do you tell people, or how do you get people motivated? They talk a good game. Everybody wants to get started. A lot of times people don't. What advice do you give them, or how do you motivate them, and how do you keep the momentum going once you get them on the schedule?
So that's actually a great question. So it really starts with, I think, setting attainable goals. And I like dividing up in like a long-term picture and a short-term picture. So with that being said, I think it's very hard to motivate someone if they have a goal that's 6 months from now. They're to keep them motivated. So I think you have like a daily short-term goal every day. And I call it micro progression. You micro progress every day towards a big goal, which would be the long-term goal. And so whatever that is, if the person wants to lose 15 pounds, okay, well, if her goal is to do it in the next 2 months, okay, this is the daily goal every day. And that way you're motivated because you feel like you're working towards something every day. And it's also not such a large goal to lose. It's not like you're trying to lose 15 pounds in like a week and you're just killing yourself. You're focusing on doing the right thing every day, but you're able to have like a sustainable lifestyle as well. You're able to still have a social life, which is very important. I'm just using weight loss as an example, but it's just really finding a way to finding an attainable goal, make it long-term, short-term, and micro progress every day. That's how I would do it.
That's great advice. Yeah,
I know, where we do like cardio, and that always like killed me. I never want to do cardio. And so he was like, get back into cardio. I like would text him like all my goals. He's like, micro progression, let's get it. I'm like, yeah.
Absolutely. And the thing is, there you go. You hit the nail on the head. I mean, I think a lot of times people think the cardio needs to be some crazy time-consuming thing. Oh, I don't have the time. I was like, how about this? You go do maybe like 10 sets of 30-30 on the elliptical, for example, or sprinting. You're in and out in 10 minutes. Maybe do a 5-minute warm up. It's a 15-minute ordeal. Everyone can find 15 minutes. So it's like I think that's a thing too. It's also not if you're telling yourself you have to do like 2 hours of exercise every day to accomplish your goal, and you have very little time. It's never going to happen. You're going to get busy, and then you're just going to fall off, and you're not going to be motivated, and then that's the end of the game.
Well, that's exactly it. And also the people who are like, oh, I'm too busy for this. I'm too busy. Okay. Yeah. But you also can spend 15 minutes on your phone on Instagram. Like, why don't you transfer that into, and what we were just talking about with the minis, where you had me do, and that's my cardio now, is the 10 sets of 10 on the tread for 40 seconds on. Honestly, it's the best burn. And I actually feel it the most than if I were to run 3-4 miles. You really, when you keep your speed up and make that more attainable, it's so much easier to do, but the results you feel more.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I mean, especially like for you, like you said, you're already in good shape, and you've been exercising, prior to us working together. So it's a different story. Maybe if someone's tremendously overweight, it's a totally different story. You have to do slower, longer. But for you, like with minimal injuries, and like you already have a good fitness level, so it's like, why make it so complicated? Just think high quality work. That's the only way to get better. I mean, we use that marathon. I know there's probably people who run marathons versus sprinter, but the marathon runner versus sprinter example. I mean, if you look at most sprinters, they have very toned, lean bodies with great physiques, and we'll say for a marathon runner, some of them almost look skinny fat. And nothing against marathon runners. I've worked with marathon runners. I really respect what they do. Let me just say that, put it out there. But if your goal is body composition, if your goal is to have a toned, lean looking body, you probably should think more like the sprinter, not the marathon runner.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. So a lot of people are either caught up with the number on the scale, but also there's more to that where, you know, you have to look toned and you should look toned and look lean. And sometimes that number on the scale doesn't always reflect, it's not either going down or staying the same. So what do you feel like is better? Do you feel like it's better to lose that weight so that number on the scale goes down? Or is it better to be lean and be toned? And then whatever one you do think is better, how do you feel like someone, although subjective, should achieve that?
Well, I think the ideal situation would be measurements. Basically, measurements don't lie. Measurements, even testing your body fat, but there's still most of the easy testing devices, unless you do like an underwater weighing test, they're accurate within 3 to 5%. So it's pretty similar to going on the scale, but doing like measurements, like girth measurements in certain specific areas of your body. And so if you start a program, you take your measurements today, let's say you do a waist measurement, and then you maybe every couple of weeks, you're pulling yourself accountable, you're measuring your waist. Even if your weight on the scale stayed the same, or just maybe it's just been a very slow drop. But if you lost 2 inches on your waist, let's just say in 3 weeks, you're doing a phenomenal job. Especially if your goal is to lean out your midsection, maybe to improve body composition. In general, I think the scale it gives you an idea of what's going on, but you can't. It's just still too generalized. Your general trajectory should, of course, be down. You shouldn't be like gaining weight but if it's slow, I wouldn't be concerned. I would say start with measurements and use the scale as like a background thing, just to hold yourself accountable. You should have a slow loss at the very least.
Now, we know you are one of the top in the world trainers. So what sets you apart from your competitors? Tell everybody about that, because you're an amazing man.
Well, thank you so much. I think there's two really big keys to service and passion. So I think really one of the things that makes it for a great company, was a great fitness company. Well, since we're talking about my industry, is to remember it's a service business. And you know, it's not just, I'm not just saying, oh, the client's always right or whatever, like something like that, but it's like providing a great service. And, you know, you can be super educated, but your clients will never forget how you make them feel and the experience they have with you. So I call it the exercise experience. When you're working out with someone, it's about learning about what they're about and what makes them tick, what motivates them. And then that creates for a great experience. And then a great experience leads to referrals. They tell other friends. And then before you know it, you have a great business going on. And then obviously passion is there. The only way people can feel it. People can feel like when you're passionate, you care. And the only way to really care for someone is to actually really care. So it's like there's those two things I think really separate me. And I actually have 28 other coaches and other parts of fitness. Will say yoga, Pilates, spin, chiropractors, physical therapists, massage therapists, and that's what I look for. I look for passion and people who are service oriented. Because passion is something you can't teach. Service you can to a certain degree, and education is. I'd much rather have a person who is a newer person and newer to the industry, and then I can educate them. But as long as they're passionate, they want to learn, and they know how to provide, and then they're service oriented people, they'll be very successful.
Beautiful.
100% true to everything he said. He is service oriented.
Appreciate it.
You guys all should. This is not a paid ad. I wish it was. But you guys all should really reach out to Matt. He's great. So Matt, if our audience wants to get a hold of you, how can they best do that? How can they do consulting? So by the way, Matt is in Miami and I obviously am up here in Buffalo, and we train a couple times a week on FaceTime. So even though he's not physically here, you guys can train with him all over. So it doesn't have to be just to his location. Anyway, how can they find out about you and get in contact?
Well, thank you. Well, so the easiest way I would say will be to go to my Instagram, Matt W Miami. And then from there, I actually it's great. It's actually perfect timing because of getting the parent site, the Wismer Fitness site, it's getting divided into three different areas we were talking about, which was the Wismer Fitness. So then we're going to have Gym Design Concierge, and then I actually have the brand line for the brand partners is called Better Day. So it was because I think we're looking at trying to help everyone live a better day. You want to wake up. So all the products they're on there about living a better day. a better lifestyle. So I'm dividing into three that way, so it can be hyper focused to whatever someone's looking for, and instead of just being this big confusing site. So now will all be up in the next week or two. So it's getting divided as we speak.
Awesome. Well, Matt, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And guys, check him out. He's awesome.
Totally.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Welcome back to the Karyn Reece Show. As always, anytime Karyn's around, spirit's around. So if you would like to enter to potentially win a reading, to connect with your loved ones, or to hear about your future, you can do so in various ways. You can enter on our website at www.karynreece.com, spelled KarynReece.com. You can also enter on Facebook at Karyn Reece Psychic Medium, or on Instagram and on Twitter at Karyn Reece, or on TikTok, which is new, Karyn Reece, and then the number 1. Or you can send us an email, Karyn, Karyn, and then the little @ KarynReece.com. So we have a very lucky winner today with us who wrote in, and she entered in on TikTok. So Melissa, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Great. Thank you so much for joining us. Karyn, take it away.
Were you supposed to take a trip to Florida and it was postponed or canceled?
We are going in November.
Oh, there might be a little bit of a delay. Was this delayed already, or there's
We were delayed on our last trip. We had a long delay.
Okay, because he's talking about a delay with the trip, and then he's talking about the Florida trip. Okay, good. So this was a long delay that you had?
Oh my, like 9 hours. It was horrible.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently your grandfather kept saying he was like, it wasn't just a normal, maybe an hour or two layover. We get it. 9 hours? That's insane.
It was a lot.
Yeah, your grandfather was with you, just so you know, he's laughing about that. Who works around the educational field, or who works for a school, or is this something your mom was supposed to do?
That is my mother-in-law, Sandy. She works for the schools.
Oh, okay, hang it up. I got everybody talking, your side, your husband's side, and everybody else's side, just so you know, as far as that's concerned. You don't have a son yet, do you?
I do. Yes.
Oh, he's cute. And do you want to get pregnant again?
Oh, I'm pregnant right now.
I saw that. Your grandmother said that because she's pregnant.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations. Oh, that's wonderful. They're laughing about that. She kept saying pregnant. I knew you were pregnant. That's hilarious. Yeah. They're saying healthy baby. So this will be great, just so you know. Was your husband thinking about opening up his own business, or you were together? Have you talked about getting like a side business or your own business?
I have my own business, but I always tell him I want him to do stuff with me. It's my business.
Okay. So helping you with your business, because your grandfather said business ownership too. So I like what I see going on. Your money looks good. Your business looks insane, but it looks like you're going to have to watch how you manage your time a little bit more, because you burn the candle at both ends. So FYI on that. Was there a problem with an appliance, a kitchen appliance or something, or was your oven acting up or something?
At our old house, our oven never worked. Yeah. Yes. My grandma hated the oven.
Apparently she still does. And I guess, just so you know, your house is haunted. Doesn't matter in your old house or your current house, because your loved ones on your side are trying to talk to me. I have your husband's side coming in too as well.
Okay.
Who's the Ann connection? Who's the other Ann connection? Is that your aunt? Or who's got the middle name Ann? Is this your mom?
No.
Ann, something Ann.
No.
Ann. Andrea, something like an Ann, Andrew, something Ann, she's saying. A-N-D. Who's Anderson or Andrew? Is that a friend of yours? Because she said.
We have a friend named Andrew.
Okay, that's what she's talking about. She likes Andrew.
Oh.
A-N-D-R. And I'm like, oh, Andrew, Anderson. Thanks, Grandma. Yeah, when you met Andrew, did you feel like you always knew him, the two of you, or?
Yeah, he was always very nice. He's married to one of my best friends.
Yeah, I was just going to say you've had close ties with that couple multiple lifetimes. So it makes sense. And I see travel ahead for the four of you. So yeah. And I saw Las Vegas as being one, New York City, some different fun trips. Yeah. A parent or, couples weekend, you find babysitters, you get your grandparents over, the grandparents, and you go and do your own thing. Who's got ties to the restaurant business? Are you dealing with food in your business yet? Or who's got that?
I don't have any ties to restaurants yet. I would like to.
You will. That's why I said you. Yeah, because I saw you. And it looks like you'll do, it might be more breakfast and lunch related, but I see a lot of money coming in from that. And that's where I heard the name like a Jen or a Jeff. It might be like a business partner or a manager. That's where I'm starting to see that connection. It won't be local to where you're at. You're probably going to drive south without giving away details because of, but you'll see it and you're going to make a lot of good money with that, just as an FYI. Who's the PA, Paula connection? PA, is it somebody your in-laws are connected to? Paul, something Paul, P-A-U, Paula, P-A. PA is what I'm getting. Put down P, wait, you know what
So
Pennsylvania,
many people, it's ridiculous.
no, you know what I'm seeing is Pennsylvania, PA, something that you'll do. I think you might be doing it with your mother or mother-in-laws. Looks like it's a girls' trip. So something you might be going down to Erie or something for a day or something you'll do.
I was born there. I don't know if that has any.
You were born in PA?
Yeah.
Feeling family connected. That's what
Yeah.
your parents just talking about. Oh, so you're from Pennsylvania.
I was born there. I was actually adopted. So I was born in PA though.
Gotcha. That makes perfect sense. Interesting. Well, you'll make some connections back to that. You're interesting. I always tell this, and it's funny. This morning, I felt like I had somebody that had an adoption connection. You're more involved spiritually. People don't realize that because you pick your parents before you come in. So you pick the DNA and then you pick the parents that raised you, who have been your parents in multiple lifetimes. So it makes sense that they're still your parents, just needed some color. But also you come in as a teacher. And it looks like your birth mother, at some point you'll make ties with your family. She did not want to give you up. She was forced into it.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, she was really forced into it. She's been heartbroken ever since. I mean, I think that's a really big, but you came in more evolved spiritually. As I tell people, you can always love more than one person. Your parents are your parents, but your origins, you can also love them as extended. So that's why, because your grandfather said, yeah, you'll connect in with your family and you may go with your mother. Because I felt two moms. That's why I'm like a mother and mother-in-law, because I kept saying two. So I'm thinking two moms down there, but you have your mom here and then you'll have your other biological mom. That's why I kept seeing two moms, but it's all good though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you got extended family. You'll have fun. And I love what you're doing with your life and you should be proud of all the things that you're doing. And I definitely see a lot of psychic ability all around you too. So when you're at home at night and you think you're alone, just know that your family's with you on the other side. Oh, K-E, like a Keith or a Kevin. Is that somebody your dad's connected to? K-E, Kenny, Keith, something with a K-E.
Kenny?
Who's Kenny?
That's actually my grandma's other son.
Oh, that's your uncle then.
Yes, my uncle.
Oh, you haven't seen Uncle Kenny in a while?
No, not really. Mm-mm.
Oh, they're a little upset about that. Grandpa said, it's important to get a hold of Kenny. So, tell your family, get a hold of Uncle Kenny.
Yes.
He's been thinking about him. Yeah. And he should watch his blood pressure too. I think somebody just said.
Blood pressure. Okay. I will. I have a lot of people I got to call after this.
You're on assignment now. Right?
So, yeah.
So funny. Well, Melissa, thank you so much for joining us today. And hopefully this gave you the peace and the closure that you needed. Karyn, thank you. And Spirit, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Karyn Reece Show. As always, if you would like to connect with Karyn, you may do so by visiting her website at www.karynreece.com, spelled KarynReece.com. You can also visit her on Facebook at Karyn Reece Psychic Medium and on Twitter and on Instagram at Karyn Reece. You can also go on TikTok and find her there at Karyn Reece 1, so the number 1, which is new and exciting. And you can also send us an email, Karyn@KarynReece.com. Awesome.
Wow, you amaze me every time you can say that so
It's all just from
amazingly.
memory. I'm just so used to it at this point. Like, it doesn't faze me. Show in and show out, I'm just so used to it. But so we talked about electrical energy, and we get stuff in this office all the time. Like, that's
we get
electrical.
it. Even on set too. I mean, there's
on set,
instances, yeah.
all of that. All of that.
So we're hot stuff, basically. That's what it is, I think. Maybe,
Yeah.
well, maybe you, but just saying.
No.
Yeah.
So for people who ask, like, I want this sign, like, send me a butterfly and I know you're there. Does that always work? or how does that work?
Well, sometimes, but here's a question. If somebody said, you need to do this or you need to do that, are you really willing to comply? You might be a little annoyed. You might say, geez, could you send me a sign? Maybe a butterfly might be a better way of asking it, And the other thing, keep in mind, it takes a lot of energy when you're out of your physical to connect to this reality. So they may be able to motivate a butterfly. They may be able to do something better, like, make your lights go on and off, so just be a little bit more open about it, less demanding.
That makes sense.
Yeah, people are people. Do you like to,
Well, thank you so much for all of that insight. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back for yet another week of The Karyn Reece Show.